Hi guys, welcome back. Today's video will be an exercise using watercolor pencils, and today will be drawing instead of coloring. You see me drawing. I'm trying. I tried. I already tried draw one page. Inspired from Pinterest. I wasn't that pleased. I thought trying with using watercolor pencils and colored with watercolor pencils. So, because the last time I tried Joanna's Enchanted Forest and I was quite pleased with the paper quality, so I will try with this Hannah Coulson's. And I'm using, I think this is ultramarine, a light ultramarine, or any grays or blues or even pinks. It doesn't matter. You just take one color pencil, and if you can, just follow along if you want to, or you can do it later. This is usually I draw. I don't like to use a ruler because I always like crooked lines. But anyway, mine is not even crooked enough. I like them when it's very childlike uh drawings, quirky kind of quirky style. If you draw your lines crooked, it doesn't matter, just continue, just don't give up. So after drawing that basic house structure, this is a very basic. And anyway, by the way, I'm not an expert using watercolor pencils or watercolor. This is, I'm just trying out and see whether how I like using watercolor pencils and drawing with it. Before this, I tried on coloring books. Now this is the first time I'm trying to use it to draw and color at the same time. So you're basically drawing the doors and the windows. Now I'm drawing the frame of the door. Remember, if it's crooked and if it's not straight, it doesn't matter. Really, it doesn't matter. It's more charming if it's crooked. Perhaps the next time I'll think of how to do a crooked kind of drawings, which I love. It's like when we were in school, we were told to use ruler to draw straight lines and to draw everything in the center of a page, right? But then art has no rules. So that's why I love children's art, especially those preschool children. They their brains are not polluted with all these rules. And they have fun when they're doing art, and they don't compare. I think we should too have fun and don't compare with each other. And so back with this drawing. So okay, these are the panels of the doors. I did not speed up this because I want to let you see how I draw in instead of like a slow motion to draw this. And then later on I have to speed up again because this video really, I mean uh this drawing and painting really takes a lot of time because I'm still testing it. So it took me more than 3 hours to finish this. Perhaps next time I can do in real time, but at the moment certain parts I have to speed up or I have to delete a certain stage. I'm drawing the windows here with the windows frame, and I thought I have to draw in the frames. Okay, so I'm adding a latch outside the window where you can display your potted plants or herbs. So I'm adding in the the timber pleats, or you call that what do you call this? This is where the gutter or the panel or the skirting that hides that rafter of the roofs. Thinking of adding extra windows here. The frames of the window, yes. And then you have, this is the outer frame, and then you have the inner, this is the outer frame. So I'm using a different color. Just I just thought of trying different color pencils, but actually, um, because this is not a watercolor paper, it's not that helpful. I mean, it doesn't make any difference. If I were to use a watercolor paper, I think this one will probably, using different color pencil will make a difference. You see the pigment melts into the watercolor paper, and then you can see some interesting effects. Probably, I'm just thinking, I'm not sure yet. But with this uh, coloring page, which is not a watercolor friendly, it doesn't make any difference. But I was just testing it and see whether there's any difference. So I'm adding the roof tiles, or you called it the shingles. So then this will be the, I think, basic or general roof tiles, just almost brick-like kind of arrangement. Just very simple. So after drawing the lines, and then yeah, I think I'm coloring the shingles using various colored pencils, watercolor pencils. Oh, no, before this, I'm adding some potted plants at the ledge there. You can use green colored pencils. It doesn't matter. You can use gray, green, whatever. Just any colors. Because once you use water to activate them, it will just melt into that the painting. So it doesn't matter what color you use. To me, like at the moment, I was thinking this. I was thinking I just want to have fun. Sometimes I wish I'm uh, more brave than this. I can even use um, shocking colors. Maybe next time I'll try with neon. So I'm drawing some, outlining some of the shrubs that I imagine will be uh, outside the pathway. Use different pencils to draw. You can use different color pencils to draw the shapes. You have to remember this is an exercise, just have fun. So I'm using another, it can be red, it can be pink, it can be orange, just to draw some broken tiles. You draw irregular shapes of the squares. It can be squares, it can be rectangles, it can be triangles. Just draw in various size. Oh, you have to excuse my nails. I just noticed all my cuticles. It's I think it's for a long time I was quite curious why my nails and cuticles look so horrible. It's darkened, and it's not my watercolor or my color pencils or the color that I use, because before that it was fine. Then I remember for the last few days I've been eating cherries. Yeah, cherries. I've been pitting it uh and then putting it in my yogurt, and and all this. I just remember it should be the dye from the cherries. More, I was thinking more broken tiles for the front of the uh you call that, is it you call that the foyer of the house? So I'm using this ultralight marine to color to outline it. I just love this color. I just remember I forgot to add in the chimney. Yeah, I was thinking of drawing another ledge there, a side view of a ledge with the potted plant jutting out. Yes, with the potted plant on top of the ledge. Are you all following along fine here? Now I'm coloring the shingles. You call that. Again, use any various color that you like, and you can see the way I zigzagging, or how do you call this kind of wishy-washy way of coloring. That's me. I'm into messy coloring. For me, is that if we were to activate with water later, I was hoping I can see this kind of texture coming through. So after the color, then I outline the roof tiles again. This is actually the side view of a tile. When you lay this at the side, you can see the thickness of the roof tiles. So this is how it will look like. Now, I'm not sure what color to color that that lowered windows. So sometimes I do wish I have a colored color palettes that I can use to follow, right? It's more organized, or you don't have to think so much using colors. Because all this while, I've never tried using color palettes, but I've seen so many posts from you all that using color palettes, it looks wonderful. I should try using color palettes. Maybe my colorings will finish faster. Yes, I think so. Definitely, I think they'll finish faster. I can finish faster, I mean. So now I'm adding dark gray. Yeah, the dark gray watercolor pencils. I was hoping it's black watercolor pencils, and I just I just can't find my missing pencils. Yeah, I'm missing many. I think more than 10, 20 pencils is not in my stash. So adding more uh, colors onto the broken tiles. If you have brick colors like pink, orange, red, you can use that too, or light blue, grays for that matter. It doesn't matter. You just try to use any colors that you think you feel like want to color, because whatever it is, this is just an exercise and you're supposed to have fun. This is my light ultramarine. Do you have a favorite color, by the way? Like when you draw, when you want to shade with shadows or drawing outlines. I do love this ultramarine or the periwinkle blue, or some violets or indigo. That's my favorite. So I'm adding more broken tiles. Well, you can add more broken tiles all the way, or you just leave it. Because I noticed some cottages, they will have some of this broken tiles where it's halfway or all the way. So I'm yeah, this is the one closest next to teal color. Actually, I was looking for a teal color, so I couldn't find in my stash. I just want to color it on my main door here, the paneled main door to use, or you can use red, but I was thinking teal. Why not try teal? I think I speed up here. Yeah, I think I speed up because uh, it's getting longer, this video. I'm so afraid that if it's more than 1 hour, it will take forever to upload. What am I doing? Oh, okay, I'm trying to color the shrubs with greens. If you have greens, certain blues, or you have orange, reds, apricot, pinks. That's a leaf green, I think. Anytime when if you're following this exercise, you can pause and then continue your pace, and then just playback. I'm adding more, uh, probably darker tone around the bottom of the shrubs. You're going to remember anything that's at the bottom, it should be the darkest. So more shrubs, taller one, hoping I can have a tall something like a tree, a mini tree with some flowers. See, I'm putting in orange flowers. I was hoping. Okay, if you want to break rule, don't do shadows. Well, you can do that also without adding all these dark colors around there. So happens that because I'm used to adding all these shadows and darken areas, so I'm doing it. So uh, some greens on the grass, the lawn, that mini lawn that you have. What else? This one is okay. I'm trying to shade or color that broken tiles. So that it is. I mean, I'm coloring this at this color in this color so that it will be different from the cottages broken tiles. Okay, this is the fun part where you activate with water. See, I just noticed some of this I colored is not using watercolor pencils. Some are actually colored pencils, so that you see they don't melt when I use water to activate them. So I have a mix in my collections, color pencils and watercolor pencils. So I didn't separate them. See, I tried to activate that. I didn't realize that it's just colored pencils. You can use those water brush, or you can use a plain brush. Okay, I just remember because I forgotten that my camera stopped recording and I continue with the coloring. But it's just what did I do? Okay, I just colored all the roof, yeah, the roof tiles, and then I added the light cobalt blue on the walls, and these are my stash. So what else? Okay, now I'm trying to do this kind of arch, use drawing bricks for the arch of the window. So I use the watercolor pencils again to outline that panel or that louvered window. Remember, all this should be in watercolor pencils. So I'm adding some more greens and more shadows underneath the shrubs. I'm drawing, I thought of drawing a tree behind this cottage. And when you draw a tree, general rule is that a tree is supposed to taper to a thinner branch. How do you explain that? Yeah, so that okay, if you can't draw a tree, you can just draw just a straight line, just a double line. Uh, how do how do I say it? Just draw double parallel lines, just only parallel lines, and then you just add draw circles that is supposed to be the leaves of the tree to cover the branches, if you understand what I'm trying to say. Like you draw that big trunk, that's a huge big trunk, and you don't see the branch out, the branches. You draw you colored greens, paint greens just to cover the all these branches. You could do that also if you don't want to draw this, like all this, like I'm trying to draw here, the circles. Yeah, just draw circles covering all the branch. Oh no, that looks weird. It looks like a face. So I use this darker blue to outline that the leaves, they are like in a bunch of leaves or a group of leaves. How do you call that? So and then uh, I wish I have my olive green, but I don't have. So you color greens, just color the whole a bunch of with greens. Of course, you can mix colors if you want to. You can mix green, yellow, red. You can experiment. Probably you add darker greens at the bottom, more greens. See the branches that I drew it. I use that green to cover it. So you don't actually you do not need to, if you don't want to draw all the branches of the tree, you can do that also. Just drawing these circles of leaves to cover them. I was trying to look for another color to color. Yeah, this one is a brighter green, I think. How how do you feel when you see the way I colored with this kind of wishy uh uh a messy kind of coloring? Do you feel like uh you're not that confident when you see this? Do you feel that way? So I mean, this is how I color when I use watercolor pencils, because I know it's gonna melt. Hopefully, it's gonna melt when I use. water to activate it. If it doesn't melt, it doesn't matter. I like to have this strokes textures. You call that showing through. Okay, you can skip this if you don't want to draw this. It doesn't matter. Remember, the branches are supposed to be thinner as it goes higher. So yeah, adding I think indigo blue or blue or darker blue. I was hoping that is I do have more more varieties of blues. So that's always at the bottom there. See, bottom of the circles, blue color. After I done this, looks a little bit better, right? Because I did some shadings there. So as I said just now, if you don't want to draw all these branches, you draw more greens to cover, a bigger circles to cover that area. And this ledge, okay, I shouldn't have colored that ledge in darker tone. It's supposed to be in I'm supposed to leave it white. Yeah, I'm supposed to leave it white. So mine, my cuticles again, I'm seeing that darkened cuticles is just so I pitied cherries. That's why it looks dark. So after I think, yeah, what I did, okay, I activate the rest of the my watercolor pencils with water. So and to my disappointment that it bled through. I've forgotten that this Hana Kozan page is not watercolor friendly because I did this in watercolors and it showed a bit of bleed through here. So I've forgotten about this. I just realized that it's not as watercolor friendly as the last tutorial that uh, I used with the Enchanted Forest. See, I use very heavily here with a lot many washes. I remember, and yet there's no bleed through here. And this is printed in UK. This is not the US version. But since I've already done and already halfway through or almost finished, so I think that's what I was thinking. Okay, to continue, but it's sort of I didn't. I was like sort of like I wasn't that happy. I remember all this while my time wasted here. So now I'm trying to activate with water, using a brush and a water to color the paint. So as usual, this is the fun part where you play with water. And you can see from here the watercolor pencils, it didn't melt all the way through. You can still uh, it's still bummer when you see this, right? It's mm, it's not what you expect. But then, as usual, anything that's has this kind of texture, I see it It's interesting. So then, if you did not draw any branches here, you can skip this part. It doesn't matter if you have those large bunches of leaves, circles of greens that you drew over here, then it will cover the all these bunches. See, I was afraid to go over it a few times because the page is almost like it's like it's getting thinner, or when you go over it a few times. So I did not really go thoroughly go and wash it with water. See this part here, it should be the ledge over here should be lighter, or I should have left it without coloring it. So now you can't see the ledge. More shrubs, adding more shrubs, more coloring, more shrubs. If you can see at the bottom, I mean the shingles there, I did use a darker watercolor pencils to draw lines over the shingles, just to accentuate that the roof tiles. And the way you draw the roof tiles, it doesn't matter if the roof tiles is not aligned. I mean, it's up to you how you want to align your roof tiles. This is this is fun coloring. Hmm. So I'm doing the same thing, just using water to activate which parts that I feel that has this has not been activated. But if you were to use a watercolor paper, probably you can get better result, of course. And also the reason that I'm using this drawing coloring book as a base to draw this is because maybe some of you do not own any watercolor papers, and you want to try using your watercolor pencils and play with your watercolor pencils. You can try with the end page or the testing page of those coloring books. Of course, you have to make sure that it's watercolor friendly. Now, what I'm trying to do here is that I try to uh, dampen that shrubs there with water, and I try to use my pencils to draw some flowers. It didn't work out the way I wanted. I was a bit disappointed. See, it's the color is not what I imagined it was supposed uh to look like. It's getting worse. You can see probably it's almost penetrating to the page when I was doing this. I should have stopped doing this, because it's not it doesn't look good to me because it looks weird. And I feel that it's like it's like I will be poking through holes with this with the in the paper if I keep doing this. See, I dampen it and I try to use the pencils to so that you have a darker pigment. I was hoping that, yeah, a darker tone to color over it, but it doesn't work, it seems. So I try to do the same thing here again. See, I dampen that with water, and I try to use a pink watercolor pencils to try to uh, no, I was hoping that I could have a defined shape of flowers, but nope, it wasn't that friendly. When I was drawing this, I was thinking, that means I have to use some acrylic pens to go over this then, which I was hoping that I don't want to use any acrylic markers. I was hoping that this whole page will be more about watercolor pencils. So I'm trying to add some of the stalks, the flower stalks or stems. Nope, it doesn't work. Really, I have to try using a watercolor paper and see how this work, or maybe try on a better quality coloring book. See, I almost punctured through that page there with my ah even my drawing of that stems. That main door that I did color over again. If you can see that the main door, I did a few layers of teal color mixed with some greens. So I'm using a Posca white just to do that frame, that window frame. If I were to do it again, I rather leave it in white instead of using a Posca. because all this when I was drawing this, uh, all the colorings and the drawing wasn't planned. It was only the structure of this house that I got inspired from Pinterest, and then the rest I just draw along, just color along. So for the next one, I would probably leave it white, so I don't have to use Posca. And this the second, I would say the second mistake, or maybe the one that I should have. I use a drawing pen to draw over the lines, because what I want from here is that I wanted to have without any drawing pens seen through. If I were to draw this, then the whole house I should draw with pens. So when I looked at it, I sort of regretted my decision using that drawing pen. So I tried darkening the shrubs using blues or darker greens, which I don't have. Okay, activate it with water, and then so I was trying to do some shadings here at at the side of the cottage. Okay, now this is another mistake I did. So I'm not supposed to shade behind the shrubs there, because it's supposed to be not against the behind that wall, because the shrubs is at the front, so there shouldn't be any shadows behind the shrubs. Now I'm doing is more shadows at the ledge there, shadows, and yeah, trying to just add more details. So it's always at the bottom that's the darkest. This is me doing the yeah, some shadow also, because this door is supposed to recess in, so you see that shadow or that area darken, so it looks as if the door is recessed in. Darkening again the shadows around the shrubs, and slight shadowing from the shrubs. Okay, now I'm trying to draw that wood grains. I use watercolor pencils. again, I'm trying to accentuate that part. Usually when I draw wood grains, I like to draw them, the grains, uh, close, they are close, the lines are closer, and just activate with water. So you can't see what I'm doing here. Okay, yeah, just follow with that. Okay, follow with that grains. So what I was thinking is that the door frame of this main door is a different color. So I use a different blue. Just just color over that grains, not all the way, not not fully blue. Just certain part I just color blue and just leave some area white. So I use, see, I'm trying to not try to use Posca. I use, since I don't have the white watercolor pencils, I use that white watercolor. If I have the white watercolor pencils, I would use it to line over, not all, just line certain parts with white pencils. Actually, you can use normal pencils, but very sharp, just to line over. So I'm just whatever remaining of that white, just to touch up certain of the shingles with white. And I try, instead of Posca, to use it to color the white walls in between the tiles. Okay, just draw the lines, uh, accentuate the lines again. Okay, I just noticed I forgot to draw the doorknobs on the main door. Hmm. Anime is almost finished, and we're gonna have the final look here. And so I use postcard to touch up the walls, and since I filled with my watercolor pencils on the flowers, I used acrylic pens to draw in the flowers. And so what do you think about this exercise, draw and color? Would you try this in your one of your coloring books? Try to use a web media friendly. And if you think this is interesting and you want to see more of this kind of content, just write in the comment. And thank you for watching.